because a lot of my... Try that again. So we're back again, another trade show. I got a different polo on. For my OGs, you guys have seen this show before. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more of the backstory about why this expo or trade show is really important to me and maybe why it's kind of evolved over time of importance for me. But I'm also gonna show you guys a little bit about trend spotting, things I'm looking at. Definitely gonna be showing you a lot of like booths, new innovation on the functional ingredient side, maybe some manufacturing stuff, maybe some flavor stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I don't do a good job at giving some of like the personal layers of me, who I am.
We want more, we want more. Like, you really like it, you want more.
And maybe this is relatable to you guys, is that for years, I wanted to start a YouTube channel. And I was always scared. I just was thinking, you know, would I sound dumb? Would I look dumb? Would I whatever? And it held me back, which is a dumb thing to have control your mind. Like, you shouldn't be worried about that. After years of like thinking that I wanted to do it, one day I decided I'm gonna start this YouTube channel. So in 2018, you guys probably were not following me then. I really was just like putting out things I was passionate about. I didn't care about if people were watching it. I didn't care about like the vanity metrics. All I wanted to do was be proud and excited about the content I was putting out. So I'm doing this and I'm thinking I don't have many people watching this, so it must not be making too much impact. But as I'm putting all the pieces together, I guess, of my YouTube, all of a sudden I get a call. And this is, I guess, what brings us to SupplySide West, is that people were putting together the educational sessions in 2018, about a month and a half after I started my YouTube channel. Just so happened they saw a few of my videos and said, you know what, this guy got some interesting ideas. We should put him on stage and see what happens. So that was like my first speaking engagement at like a large trade show. There was like 200 or 300 people in the room. That's kind of why I had this like soft spot, I guess, for SupplySide West, which kind of leads me to today. And that first speaking engagement led to many more, which made me, I guess, evolve my business.
So you're like,
Switch it over. Which takes me to today. And fast forward, I don't know how many years we're at, 5 years, 6 years, whatever that was. My, I guess, client base has evolved. And I can, I guess, thank this original trade show, because really me getting involved with SupplySide West, me being involved with this side of the business, allowed me to evolve my business into more of the supply side and help kind of throughout the whole value chain of the supplement industry.
Back. Day 2.
It is day 2. I am surprisingly in much more energetic state. I think getting off the plane into day 1, not having an energy drink or any cognizant or anything like that, and trying to like function that first few hours of the show is a little bit tougher than normal. I'm not the spring chicken I used to be. But I'm gonna be going through a little bit of like some of the trend spotting that I typically, or way that I approach trade shows, just kind of like, you know, I'm not necessarily looking for a lot of the nuance or the detail, but I'm looking for what are the breakthroughs, what are things that are picking up steam, what are things that maybe are falling off. That's the kind of stuff that you're gonna be seeing today. Hopefully I can show you a few of those things. So Maybe a big question here is that I'm not a science guy, so why am I at a show that's around a lot of like ingredient science? It's important for me to maybe explain like how I utilize a show like SupplySide West, because a lot of my try that again. People were trying to look at what was this thing that was like next, or you know, maybe not even next, but like what's next, like this bleeding edge idea. And I was always like really fascinated or trying to catch like what would that be? What is that next trend? What's that next opportunity that I could kind of present to clients and show them that this was going to be what had value? Or, you know, especially from a startup standpoint where a lot of my first clients were at, they were looking for that edge, that uniqueness, that distinctiveness. So a show like this gave me the ability to spot some of that, because you started to see some patterns and sequences that made sense to some things that were kind of bubbling up and starting to show that it had some validity in the market. Obviously, these last 11 years running Schall Consulting, my business has evolved over time. My client base has evolved over time. I've started to look at maybe not as so much bleeding edge and what is about to be mainstreaming. Right at that point where it's gonna not necessarily just create the next small kind of trend, or maybe you can ride some little area here. What could potentially be the next billion-dollar thing? Because the clients that I tend to be working with, they're not trying to take on a bunch of risk of maybe these new things that are still unproven and people are trying to figure out. So I think a lot around why shows like this are interesting to me. Quite honestly, a curiosity of mine has always been around kind of consumer behavior, how that changes, how that affects maybe the products in which we take, how those are valued in our lives, how that kind of evolves over time. Like, it's a weird way that my brain kind of thinks through all of these things. Because I'm so passionate about, you know, this aspect of life, I mean, obviously I could probably put this weird brain power towards anything, but it's always been towards kind of this functional foods or functional beverages or nutritional supplements. So I obviously focus a lot of my attention there. And I end up seeing pattern sequences, things that just like, I know are gonna create value. I know that are just gonna be things that people are gonna love. As my clients have evolved and their level of impact and sales growth and things in which they're selling and people trying those products are bigger, I have to think about the way that I approach the show differently. I have to look at things differently. So all of this has really just been an evolution over time. I mean, it's hard to explain how important shows like this are to me, but really it's ways for me to kind of validate thoughts I have in my head, challenge thoughts in my head, just kind of relook at maybe things that I thought were true that are no longer true, because you guys know things change daily. It's like the world changes, the music in this SupplySide changed. So I guess that's our cue that we need to end this video. So Grant's telling me, since we're leaving, that I gotta give you guys a little bit of the ending thing, but before I do the whole like smash it, like it, you know, shit you guys always hear, I wanted to just kind of tell everybody that kind of stopped me, talked to me, like showed any love, like I just really appreciate it. I know that like it's very uncomfortable for me and maybe I didn't
first time on TV.
Do the best at taking it. I try to say as thanks as I can, but I do just like super appreciate it. This is like such a wild experience that people actually watch these videos. And I don't know, we're just gonna hopefully just keep doing this bigger. Like each year, Grant told me last year, like, dude, you're about to like get bigger, and I laughed at him, and then like, here we are. It's so wild. I don't know, like I'm just like this dude talking to a camera, but I guess we're out. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Now you guys